Welcome back to Project 94 for another diecast review here on the channel. Today, we're going to be taking a look at another 2023. We're back to 2023 diecasts. And this one is going to be for a new Cup Series driver. It's going to be a rookie diecast. Here is Ty Gibbs and his 2023 Interstate Batteries number 54 Toyota Camry TRD for Joe Gibbs Racing. This is officially the first Ty Gibbs Cup Series diecast that has been made from Lionel Racing, and it's going to be the first one of his cars, probably the first of many Ty Gibbs diecasts in the future of his career that I will be reviewing here on Project 94. Obviously, this paint scheme is one of my favorites from the 2020s, this Interstate Batteries livery. No matter who rides it, who drives it, it's always a special paint scheme, honestly. I love this car. I've always loved this paint scheme ever since Kyle Busch introduced it in 2020. Interstate Batteries, always loved the green and red color combination with the lightning bolts. You know, it's very cool. It's an iconic color combination in NASCAR. So here's the box itself, Ty Gibbs. So yeah, very, very cool to have a Ty Gibbs Cup car finally. I do have one of his Xfinity cars. I have his, what is it, the Pristine Auction and then the Interstate Batteries Throwback. So yeah, Ty Gibbs, I did a diecast review of his. It was like the second ever video on my channel. It was of the throwback that he did from that 2002 livery on the Busch Series Supra, which is really cool. So now we're looking at one of his Cup cars, and honestly, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this diecast review because I've looked at this paint scheme before, but I'll do it again just because maybe you guys haven't seen the original video. I'll try to go in depth as I can with it. Even though, yes, I have reviewed this diecast before on the Kyle Busch. So, in case I don't review this whole paint scheme, I can give you a link to the original Kyle Busch video, because the paint scheme is pretty much the same. But there is one big detail that has been changed on it, so I will be highlighting what that change is in the video. But man, right off the bat, the new number 54 on this scheme. Who would have known that this 54 would ever become a Cup number for a full-time driver? Like, I know it was always going to be in the cards because Joe Gibbs was probably going to be like, well, I don't know if I want to bring the 18 back. Kyle Busch made it so iconic, and so did Bobby Labonte. And I don't know if I'm Joe Gibbs. I don't know if I would want to put that monumentous pressure on my own grandson to drive one of the most iconic numbers right away. That's a lot of pressure on the kid. So I don't think I would have done that either. So putting the 54 in Cup made sense. And I've always felt like they were going to do this. Even before they announced the 54 was going to be back in Cup, I kind of honestly always knew they were going to do this. But the fact that we actually have it here kind of feels surreal. The 54 replacing the number 18 in Cup. Who would have known that this 18 car would have been... And honestly, this is still the 18 team, just with the number 54 on it. So, but nonetheless, it's another number for the diecast series. A 2023 number, a new number for the Cup Series stop motion makers. So let's get into this diecast review now, shall we? We got number 54, Joe Gibbs Racing, the Toyota Camry front end, which is a bit off. But, you know, that's just Lionel decal quality. We got Interstate Batteries, and of course the Toyota hood vents on there. Of course, the newer hood vents, they don't look as bad because, I don't know, like, the Interstate Batteries logo is pretty colorful, so it's going to outdo the hood vent detailing, but they're there if you look closely. The new Toyota hood vents are on the hood of this thing, this Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry. And we're going to apparently be getting the Christopher Bell and Martin Truex Jr. I don't know, the Denny Hamlin. I don't think they confirmed the Truex one yet, but the Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell so far, and the Ty Gibbs are the ones you can get. Interstate Batteries, of course, you got Toyota and Gibbs. You got Sunoco, and of course the Sunoco Rookie of the Year Contender logo, like all the rookie cars are going to have. You have Goodyear in blue, and then of course Goodyear with the yellow lettering and the gray wheels. Got NASCAR Cup Series, the NASCAR 75th Anniversary logo, number 54, Ty Gibbs, Toyota. Then you have JD Gibbs, Sports Clips, and Interstate Batteries right next to the 54, big on this thing and slanted. Really fits the new number placement very well. For some reason, I remember this car having a He Gets Us logo right there, but I don't know if they're allowing religious sponsors, nor are they allowing having Monster Energy on the car. Like in real life, this thing, they would have like a black portion right there. So this is technically a modified version of this car, but it's still going to be the Ty Gibbs Interstate Batteries paint scheme nonetheless. On the back of this thing, you got Toyota Camry, TRD. You have John 316, I am second. Interstate Batteries. The John 316, I am second thing has always been a thing, not just with Kyle Busch. I'm pretty sure it's been on every other Interstate Batteries car. So that's pretty cool to see that detail come back. Got Interstate, number 54. Of course, you have Toyota with the two rookie cheese sticks on the back. The two cheese blocks, rookie stripes. Honestly, the rookie stripes don't look that bad on here because, like, the Camaros honestly really look terrible because of how big the Camaro logo is. So they have to really, like, make the rookie stripes, like, look funny. But the way the bumper of the Camry is, the rookie stripes are going to come out as they should on this. But yeah, very cool. A rookie diecast. I like collecting these. I've always been into collecting rookie diecasts. I just recently got the Casey Kane 2004 rookie diecast, which is really cool. Of course, you got the black splitter with the pop rivets on there. Then you're going to have the deck lid, and the green really messes up the camera. Get the idea. You got Mac Tools, Doosan, or just DN. And what's that second logo there? I've always had trouble reading that. That one right there, that circle logo. For some reason, I unfortunately can't read that today. You have Sherwin-Williams, Siemens, Mobil 1, and Lincoln Welders. You have Gibbs, outrageously dependable, and the number 54 on the top. And now it's time for the paint scheme. You got the black spoiler, the black roof rails, and the black splitter out front. And now we're going to look at the number. And this is honestly the main change to this car. Last year, and I'm literally getting a notification from NASCAR during the video, so I guess shout out to NASCAR. On the number 54, you have the black outline, the white outline, very thick outlines, the black and white, that is, and of course the red number fill-in, and you're going to have that same style 54 across the paint scheme. Yeah, as I was saying, this number is different. Last year, so when this car first came out, they had a black outline, a green outline, and a white number fill-in. It was a very thin green outline. Then they switched it. They took away the detail. They just made it a flat-out, like, black, thick outline with a white number fill-in and only did the red number on the top. And Joe Gibbs Racing and Interstate Batteries finally does the right thing and gives us the red number all the way around. And I honestly like the way this looks better than last year. So definitely consider the 2023 versions of these Interstate Batteries cars for that. It just looks better than all the other versions of this car have ever looked, in my honest opinion. The red and green always look good together. So yeah, that's really the main difference, other than it having Ty Gibbs and new hood vents and the new 54. This paint scheme has pretty much remained unchanged from the Kyle Busch version, but I'm going to go over it anyway. I'll probably make it a simpler diecast review of the paint scheme, so I don't have to point out all the same details again from last year's Kyle Busch one. So basically, you're going to have that very, very cool. So across the paint scheme, it actually alternates. Like, it goes from being like a normal lime green, then to a darker lime green, and then to a bright lime green. And then more towards the deck, you're going to have the light green. So you pretty much have the full-on gradient shades of green all throughout this diecast. I'm going to give you guys a 360 view of it. So here it is, just the same paint scheme from like that it's always been. Originally, this was an esports paint scheme. As I give you guys a close-up look at this paint scheme for people who have not seen it before, here it is with the lightning bolts, and the lightning bolts are also going to have different colors on it. So it's not just like the bright white lightning bolt. You're going to have the green, and like you're going to pretty much have like the yellow green and like the light green. Those are the main colors for the lightning bolt. It's going to be all across the side. Man, I've always loved the look of this paint scheme. It's honestly always been one of my favorites. The back looks like it's just going to be the normal white lightning bolts. Here's the left side. The other side was the right side. I get a bit of decal paper there. That sucks. But other than that, here's this side with the lightning bolt pattern. Once again, with the same colors. The roof and the deck lid are also going to have the cool lightning bolt pattern on it as well. And I love how I've always loved how the lightning bolts wrapped around the hips of this car. It looks really cool. Very much attractive looking paint scheme. This car, you're not going to have a hard time spotting for this if you are the spotter of any Joe Gibbs Racing cars, because this car is one of the biggest paint schemes, most iconic, one of the biggest sponsors for Joe Gibbs Racing is Interstate Batteries. They have such a long history on the sport. And of course, before M&M's came along, this was the primary for the number 18 and one of the big sponsors for Joe Gibbs before they became a secondary sponsor. Whenever M&M's was not on the racetrack, Interstate Batteries was always there for that number 18. And to have it on this car now is very, very cool. And of course, in the Busch Series, they also run this scheme. Trevor Bayne is going to run an Interstate Batteries car, apparently. I saw a post of it. Trevor Bayne is going to come back to the Xfinity Series. And of course, Ty Gibbs ran this in the Xfinity as well. Pretty much any driver that races for Joe Gibbs Racing that gets the Interstate Battery sponsorship is going to get this paint scheme. But like I said, I've always loved this paint scheme, even when it was an esports only paint scheme during that, was it the Heat Pro League? This was always a cool paint scheme. I've always loved it, man. This is a very, very cool paint scheme. And of course, got the typical TRD detailing of the Camry, which makes this thing look really sharp. This is honestly, the Toyota Camry TRD has always been the most detailed next gen, because like you got all those details of the side skirts and all that. It really makes it look like the factory car. So that's honestly a huge thumbs up on TRD for this Camry. Although the front end has always been the same since 2017, but you know, I can't really say much about that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess that's what I've learned about this Camry over the years. But very, very cool Interstate Batteries diecast. If you're a Ty Gibbs diecast fan, or just a Ty Gibbs collector or a Ty Gibbs fan, you definitely want to have this, because this so far has been the only, as it gives you guys a 360 view of it, since it's the only Ty Gibbs Cup car so far. I don't know if we're actually ever going to get the He Gets Us car. I'm not sure if they're going to give us that sponsor. I would like for them to give it to us, because it's another paint scheme for Ty Gibbs. So, just bringing that up. Maybe he'll get, maybe Ty will get some more sponsors as the season goes on. Maybe he'll run some different schemes. But yeah, this is honestly a really, really cool diecast. I always loved this paint scheme. And honestly, Joe Gibbs paint schemes I've always loved. I was never really a Joe Gibbs, like, super fan by any means. But man, their paint schemes over the years have been great on these Toyota Camrys, man. It just, very, very cool. Very awesome. Interstate Batteries livery. One of my favorites of all time. I used to like just the Bobby Labonte ones, but now that I've seen this paint scheme, this is definitely better than the Zebra one that we've gotten over the years. So I can give it that. It's a very good looking, attractive paint scheme. So that is going to be it for Ty Gibbs and his 2023 Interstate Batteries 164 Toyota Camry TRD number 54 for Joe Gibbs Racing. Of course, you got the Biofuel logo, which all those cars have. I always forget to point that out. Got to bring it up. But did all that rambling, and I forgot about the fuel cell. So, but yeah, guys, what do you guys think of this diecast? I definitely recommend getting it because it's the new 54, but if you're more of a fan of the other drivers, I don't blame you for just getting the Christopher Bell version later on. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for Ty Gibbs as 2023 Interstate Batteries. So thank you all for checking out this diecast review. If you want to see a more in-depth review of this paint scheme, definitely in the description, click on that Kyle Busch review link, and you're going to get a more detailed version of like just the backdrop of the paint scheme, other than the new sponsor placements or the number or anything like that. Comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.